Yo, what it do? It's your boy Chet here, and what a amazing opening round of the playoffs that was, a wild card round. We're here to review it, go over some things. Let's start off right away with the first game. That was the Texans and the Browns. And let me touch on this, right? Okay, my record from the 6th game was 4-1-1. I give myself a tie because I picked the Browns, but I was supporting the Texans in the video. I was rooting for the Texans. The Texans are my adopted team. CJ Stroud is my boy, so I give myself a tie there. Yes, I did pick Cleveland, but really I only missed one game, and we will get to that. But we'll start off with the Texans and the Browns, and my boy CJ Stroud out here preaching Jesus the best he can and dropping dimes on the best defense in the NFL statistically this season, the Browns. He torched them and put a 45 on them like it ain't no thing. And then he gave all the glory, just like he does every single time I watch this kid open his mouth. He gives all the glory to Jesus. It's unbelievable to praise the King of Kings, to be so humble. And he's like 21 years old, about to turn 22. CJ Stroud is one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. He's quickly become one of my favorite players. CJ is dope, and the Texans ran through the Browns. The Texans going on to the next round to play the Baltimore Ravens. And let me give you a little sneak peek, The Texans are going to beat the Ravens in the next round. That's it. I'm done. I ain't picking against my boy CJ no more. Yeah, Baltimore's number one. They got that defense. They riding high. Lamar probably going to win his second MVP this year. All that. That's great. It's the same thing I try to convince myself with the conversation about the Browns. It was the same thing. And then CJ, that's it. I'm going the big upset. I'm going to be the only person outside of the Texans fans and the people in Houston that is picking the Texans to upset the Ravens, the number one seed, well-rested, bye-week Baltimore Ravens in the divisional round. You heard it here first. The Texans are going to upset the Baltimore Ravens. Write it down. Take a picture. This is it. No back down. CJ Stroud, I'm done doubting you, bro. And can we just talk about the Browns for a moment? How disappointing that was. Yes, I got caught up in the Joe Flacco hype. If you go back and you look at the numbers, he had 8 interceptions in 5 starts. Yes, he was hot. Yes, he played well, but the Browns had nobody. All right, we're talking DTR and Deshaun Watson, who apparently has just lost it. You look at the Browns. If you don't mortgage everything to trade for Deshaun Watson, and you have all those draft pick stills, you don't have this whole cloud hanging over with the Deshaun Watson stuff from the last 2 years. Maybe just keep Baker Mayfield. Look like he's doing with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You do anything other than mortgage your future for Deshaun Watson, who apparently just can't play ball no more unless you get a massage on the sideline. I don't know, bro. It's crazy. The Browns defense is amazing. Hopefully Nick Chubb gets come back. But the Browns, and write it down, the Texans are beating the Ravens. So that was the first thing. Let's start off. Let's talk about my boy, the Chiefs. Done it again, y'all. Everybody, all my buddies, a bunch of my buddies, my dad, a bunch of people at work. Everybody talking all that smack. Steve out there talking all that smack. The Dolphins are so good. It doesn't matter. They're going to come in and do the Waddle. Jalen Waddle. We got Tyreek Hill. It's going to be unbelievable. Nah. Fish can't move. Fish freeze in the cold. It was the 5th coldest playoff game in NFL history, and the Dolphins could not move. That's what happens when you blow the division. The Dolphins had an opportunity. They blew it against the Bills. They blew it down the stretch. They got blown out by Baltimore a couple weeks ago. They blew their opportunity to play in Miami. This is what happens. If you can't move in Kansas City, they ain't going to move in Baltimore. And they ain't going to move in Buffalo. They ain't going to move in Pittsburgh. They ain't going to move anywhere where you got to play the late game unless you become the number one seed. And they blew their opportunity. That's why I want to make sure I wear my Tyreek shirt today, because he's on them fish now. And I want to say deuces, Miami. Thanks for coming. Y'all got waxed. The Kansas City did that thing. And let's talk about the next game. The Chiefs are playing the Bills back in Buffalo. Y'all know what I'm picking. Show me the Bills. The Bills can't beat the Chiefs. It doesn't matter if Patrick Mahomes has 14 seconds like we saw a couple years ago. The year before that when they beat him in the AFC Championship game. You look at it over and over, right? It's kind of like Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. Tom Brady just kept beating Peyton Manning over and over and over. And until we finally see Josh Allen break through, I ain't picking the Bills to beat the Chiefs. No. It don't matter. Mahomes' first road playoff game, that means nothing to me. You know what that tells me? This is his 6th year as a full-time starter in the National Football League for Patrick Mahomes. That means he has dominated everybody, and he always gets to play at Arrowhead, and he gets to play at home. Like that's some kind of stat to talk crap about him. That means absolutely nothing. He's going to go into Buffalo, and they are going to beat the Bills again. Show me. I can't pick Josh Allen to beat Patrick Mahomes until I finally see it with my own eyes. If he does it, then I'll congratulate him. Good job. But it ain't going to happen this year. The Chiefs, every year they're in the AFC Championship game. Every year Patrick Mahomes has been a starter. He has been in the AFC title game. He's about to go to his 6th straight AFC title game. Let me say it again. 6 straight AFC Championship games is about to happen for Patrick Mahomes. Let that sink in, everybody. 6 in a row. So the Chiefs are going to beat the Bills. But let's talk about the Bills. They were all over Pittsburgh early in that game. Then they let Pittsburgh make a little run. But they basically dominated that game the whole time. Let's be real. The Steelers had Mason Rudolph playing quarterback. They had no TJ Watt out there. Nobody really thought they would hang. The fact that they hung that well is a testament to how good Mike Tomlin is as a head coach, how amazing that franchise is, because they have no business being in the playoffs, and yet they won 10 games again. They got into the playoffs. It's unbelievable. If that team gets a real quarterback, and they're going to have to do one, because Pickett, Trubisky, and Rudolph is about as bad as you get. Rudolph looked way better than the mother fool. No lie. And I've been talking mad crap about Mason Rudolph for years, but he looked way better than anything they got. If they can ever figure out a quarterback situation, that team is a team to be reckoned with, because they continue to overachieve with Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin is unbelievable. One of the best coaches there ever is, because to win with that roster they had this year. But they just couldn't hang with Buffalo. But Buffalo, this is where it stops for you, right? This is where it stops for you, because Kansas City ain't here to play around. All right, then let's go on to the next one. Now let's talk about the Lions and the Rams, baby. I picked Detroit, right? Go back to my videos way back in June and May, and I told everybody before the Lions even won. The Lions get their first playoff win since 1991. You now know who has the longest drought? The Miami Dolphins, who ain't won a playoff game since 2000. That's for you, Steve. Y'all now get the longest drought. Now that the Lions have gotten a playoff win, first time in forever, they got the win there in Detroit as they won a nail-biter 24-23 over the Rams. Matthew Stafford, it was a great game. I picked the Lions to go to the Super Bowl this year when everybody was picking all the obvious ones. I said Niners was too obvious. Dallas seemed too obvious. San Francisco seemed too obvious. I'm going to be bold, and I'm going to pick Detroit. Detroit hadn't won their division in a bazillion years. They ain't won a playoff game since January 1992. They ain't hosted a playoff game in just as long. And I picked them not only to win the division, but I picked them to go to the Super Bowl. I'm just saying, and now suddenly everybody wants to jump on the Detroit train. I'm just saying, Detroit, baby. Detroit what? Yeah. That was dope. Detroit is going to dominate Tampa Bay in the next round. It's just Detroit's time, baby. But speaking of Tampa Bay, they trounced Philadelphia. How everybody did not see that coming, I have no idea. That team started 10-1, okay, and then lost like 5 out of the last 6 games, including they got destroyed by the Giants in Week 18. The Giants, Tyrod Taylor, and all the backups that they have slaughtered them. The 3-win Cardinals or 4-win Cardinals beat the Eagles. They got trounced by Dallas, who we just get trounced. We'll get to them in a minute. But how everybody was still picking Philadelphia, it made absolutely no sense to me. And like I always talked about all season long, traditionally, the Super Bowl loser is the one that struggles. Unless you're Mahomes and them who lose to Tampa a couple years ago and they just keep going. Unless you're a dynasty, Ordinarily, the Super Bowl loser is the team that struggles the next year. The Eagles lost Super Bowl. Yeah, they started 10-1. A historic collapse, though. You got to go back to the 2008 Giants. When they were defending their title, they started 11-1 that year. And then Plaxico shot himself. And then they went downhill from there. But at least they had a reason. Turmoil with Plaxico shooting himself. This team just collapsed for absolutely no reason. And now Jason Kelce just retired, their star center. A.J. Brown didn't play yesterday. This team is going to fall apart quickly. We're going to find out what Jalen Hurts has in store. Are they going to keep the coach Sirianni? You have to, right? He just went to the Super Bowl. You can't fire him now. I don't know, but that team quit. So I don't know if you put that all on the coach or some of them players got to look in the mirror. Devontae Smith showed up yesterday. DeAndre Swift seemed like he wanted to play. Fletcher Cox wanted to play. Josh Sweat maybe. I saw some hustle play. But most of that team seemed like they were checked out. But congratulations to Tampa. I picked them. I didn't understand everybody picking Philly, but Tampa's going to lose to Detroit next week. Detroit, baby. Detroit, what? Yeah. So let's go. And let's go back. Let's talk about the shocker of the weekend. And that was Dallas. 2-seed Dallas getting waxed by the Green Bay Packers on their home court or on their home field. The first number 7 seeds ever to win a playoff game is the Green Bay Packers, as they just went to the expanded field about 3 years ago. The first 7 seed to get a victory was the Packers, and this thing was not close. It was 27-0 in the first half. That game, what was it, 48-16 late in the game, and then Cowboys got a few late garbage scores, so the Packers won 48-32. But that thing was over. They trounced them. Jordan Love looking like the real deal. That was impressive. I'm done. Okay, I'm right here right now to say I'm done picking the Cowboys. Every year, I defend Dak Prescott. I defend all those guys. I say this is going to be the year that they break through. This is the year they'll beat San Francisco. This is the year they'll get to the NFC title game. This is the year they'll break through. And they continue to collapse, and they continue to fold. The moment just continues to look too big for Dak. I've been the biggest Dak defender forever, bro, but he looked scared. He looked confused. He looked overwhelmed. He looked nervous. And he's in like his 8th year, bro. You cannot look like that against Jordan Love in his first playoff game. It was too big. I'm down. I'm ready to say Dak, he's a fine quarterback and everything. He'll beat up on the tomato cans, as my boy Chris Broussard likes to say, but when the moment gets big, the playoffs come. It's just too big for Dak. So I'm done. I'm done with Dak. He's above average quarterback, but that's it. He ain't gonna win no championships. He's just not gonna. Now you're paying him all that money. You're gonna lose players because you got to pay Dak all that money. Done. So, but with Green Bay, I'd love to see Green Bay beat San Francisco next week, man. Oh man, that would be so dope. But I just don't know that they can. Oh, man. I got to pick the Niners to beat the Packers. They're too loaded. Brock Purdy, he's legit. Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, the bazillion guys I have on defense. I'm rooting for Green Bay. I am at this point. I doubted all last week. I got egg on my face. That was the only one I was completely wrong about. I didn't realize how much Dallas sucked. Now I know. Lesson learned. But I'm picking San Francisco to beat the Packers next week. And they're talking about possibly Bill Belichick going to the Cowboys. That's not happening, bro. He's going to my boys in Atlanta. He's going to the Falcons. Why would you want to go to that mess where Jerry Jones just take over and does all the interviews? Like, finally, I'm on board with all the Jerry Jones stuff, too. And, right, he owns a team. He can do whatever he wants, right? That's his prerogative. That's his right. But I'm just saying, all these other teams, did you hear from Miami's owner, the Rams owner, the Browns owner, the Steelers owner? Did you hear from the Eagles owner yesterday? No. First thing, Cowboys lose. You got 1,800 microphones around Jerry Jones. It's all about him. Why would Bill Belichick want to do that? You go to Atlanta, where you got young playmakers. You got Kyle Pitts. You got Drake Leonard. You got Bijan Robinson. You got A.J. Terrell. You got some nice guys on that defense. All you legitimately need is the quarterback, which is a huge concern. But you got the number 8 pick. You could trade up if you want to. You can take Bo Nix or Michael Penix or somebody. Trade up early and get somebody else. But You're a quarterback away from that team being really awesome and the division week. When you're competing with Tampa and Carolina and New Orleans, that's there for Belichick's going to Atlanta, not to Dallas. Anyway, I digress. I just wanted to make sure I touched on everything that I wanted to touch on here. I believe I did. So my picks for this coming weekend are the Chiefs will beat the Bills in Buffalo to go to their 6th straight AFC Championship game. Upset special, baby. The Houston Texans are going into Baltimore to do this again. What does Lamar Jackson traditionally do in the playoffs? He loses. Show me that I'm wrong. It's just like the Bills. Prove me wrong. I'd love to be wrong because the Ravens, they're my boys. I love Baltimore. But until I'm shown differently, I see Lamar, what they do when he won an MVP last time. They were the number 1 seed. They were 14-2. Took the league by storm. Boom. In comes the Titans. Eliminates them in the first game. It's very similar. I'm getting very 2019 vibes, baby. I'm just saying. They dominate. Number 1 seed. All the hype. Lamar's going to win second MVP. Boom. Here comes an AFC South team. Upstart. Nobody's picking them. And I'm picking the Houston Texans, C.J. Stroud. He gives all glory to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And it's just, whoa. Man, that man is blessed. That kid is blessed. Thank you, C.J., for being so bold. You make me want to be even more bold in my faith. Thank you. But the Texans, I'm picking the Texans over the Ravens. The Chiefs over the Bills, setting up a Texans-Chiefs AFC title game in Arrowhead. And then I'm going the Niners over the Packers. I just don't have the guts to pick the Packers, so I'm picking the Niners. And I'm going Detroit City, baby, to wax the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, setting up the Lions and the Niners in the NFC Championship game, which means my Super Bowl pick's still alive. Chiefs, Lions that I've been picking forever. So anyway, that's Chet Sports Analysis from the wild card round. You got to learn a few things. My opinion, I'm just saying, I told you I wanted to pick Houston last week. I'm giving myself that one. I told you no doubt the Chiefs would beat the Dolphins. It was an easy victory. I was wrong on the Cowboys. I tried to tell y'all about the Buccaneers. I tried to tell y'all about the Lions. And I tried to, and everybody was picking the Bills. So really, I was 5-1 because I'm giving myself Houston because that's my adopted team. Anyway, it's your boy. Peace out, Tyreek. Thanks for coming, buddy. Miami ain't had a playoff win since 2000. I love you, Steve. God bless y'all. If you made it to the end of this video, you the real MVP, not Lamar Jackson. Let's go Pat Mahomes. Let's go C.J. Stroud, baby. Anyways, that's my analysis and all that. Take it to the bank. Repeat it to your friends. Make you sound smart. So anyways, Chet Sports Corner. Deuces. Praise Jesus. Hallelujah.